Hi everyone and welcome to today's morning report charts appraisals on Friday the 18th of March with me, Rich Perry, market analyst at Handset Markets. We've got a fairly neutral really morning on the European markets. No significant direction being gone. Just as I speak, the FTSE and DAX have just picked up slightly, but nothing too significant. And to be honest, the general markets are a little bit cautious. As we see some of these strong moves on these forex majors unwind. We're seeing euro and sterling 0.5% lower, and also the commodity currencies all sort of trading around that sort of 0.5% weaker against the dollar. Interestingly enough, also we're seeing the yen, which is holding on to its gains. So what we have seen is this dollar unwind some of that weakness. Look at that sharp move to the downside in the wake of the Fed. Slight unwinding retracement move today. If it it'll be interesting to see if it actually turns out into anything more substantial than just a retracement move in terms of a continuation pattern. But there are some strong moves here. We've seen big breakdown in the Treasury yield uptrends on the 2-year and the 10-year. And it certainly looks as though it's fairly negative, although you do still have commodity prices strongly higher. This is the copper price, which has been gaining strongly throughout the last couple of months, and it'll be interesting as well because we're seeing a slight correction in oil today, nothing too significant. And on my morning report charts analysis, you can see that I sort of mentioned a slight bearish divergence or a negative sort of near-term technical signal, which could drive a bit of a slight correction, possibly back towards $39 again. But it'll be interesting to see if that again finds support on the way up. But certainly at the moment we're seeing the dollar, which has rebounded, trading around the high of the day at the moment. But the fact that the yen has been supported isn't all that positive, I think, for markets today. Now we do have not a great deal of economic data today. You've got the Canadian inflation at 12.30, expected to just come back on the year-on-year basis to 1.5%. But we do have also the preliminary, if it comes through, the prelim version of the Michigan sentiment, and it's expected to come in at 92.2. This is the prelim from last month, 90.7, but that got revised to 91.7. So 92.2 would be slightly positive actually. It just shows the continued sort of consolidation really in those consumer surveys that we've had in recent months. So that takes me on to my chart of the day, which is the euro yen. Now I spoke about euro yen last week because it was basing out and actually sort of completed the base on a move above that 25.60 level. We've subsequently seen a consolidation, slight drift consolidation, and every time you get back towards that sort of neckline in the last few days, you've sort of rallied into the close and held on to the neckline support. Interesting that we're back below that neckline now, but there's a support between sort of 25 figure, which is the reaction higher on the left hand sort of shoulder of the neckline, and also that is again supportive. So you've got a 60 pip band of support which is holding. However, you can see here you've got the lower highs, and also the you're trading below the moving averages. Momentum indicators basically neutral, so I'd say that this is sort of a still working out whether this is going to continue the rally or not. You zoom out once more, you can see here that was the peak there, 25 figure. It is a pivot line, 25 figure. So if you lost 25 figure as your support, then you'd turn increasingly sort of corrective, I think, in this chart, and you could sort of start to think about corrective downside moves, 23.60 and maybe even 23 figure as your subsequent support lows, and it would certainly start to seriously question, I think, the base pattern if you lost 25 figure. But at the moment we're holding on, but this drift lower is continuing. It could turn out to be a wedge. Could turn out to be a wedge pattern. So you'd still look out for that that sort of trend line being broken to the upside if you did form support. But at the moment, as I said, we're back into this sort of 60 pip band of support, which in recent days has generally held. So it'll be interesting to see if it holds again today. But it's coming not a million miles away from a sort of a key crossroads where the sort of this downtrend is converging. with this support band. So I wish you good luck in your trading on euro yen today. Bit of a crossroads we're entering on this one. So I wish you good luck, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you.